Thank you for tuning in today. We're going to start this over because, I just messed up. Welcome to Pillow Talk Confessions. I'm your host, Belladonna.
And I'm Mr. Bob the Zebra King.
And today we are finally going to talk about one of my favorite things to talk about, which is sex toys. Now, I have a history of one trying to sell sex toys. I am an advocate of the vibrator and, just enhancing your pleasure experience. So, we are going to dive deep into this topic today. But before we get things started, Mr. Iba, we know that I use them, but do you use them?
It's not like it's something I like it's in my arsenal. My experience with toys, lotions, lubricants. I've used a vibrator not on myself, but on a woman. Dildo on a woman, butt plug on a woman.
Okay. So
Bondage,
you've
bondage, bondage stuff.
oh,
And the candle,
okay,
but that I
okay.
learned I'm not a hot wax guy. No, no, that's just painful for me.
I understand. I understand. Well. I mean, you being a Scorpio and all, I figured you probably, dived into the wild side of things, and you've definitely, lived up to that reputation. You were what I had anticipated, so I like that though. So before we get off into the fun little anecdotes and like little stories that we both have, I wanted to briefly do the little educational segment and just talk about the definition of sex toys, how long they've been around, and the different types that are most popular. Trust and believe this episode could probably be 4 to 5 hours long, but we're not going to do that to y'all. It's just we gonna keep it short and sweet as much as we can. So,
So at this point in time, I'm gonna go ahead and urge everybody to go ahead and pause this episode. Get your pens and paper, whatever you want to use to write this down, because I don't know if your phone or device will like stop the whole podcast every time you go to write something. I mean, that could help out, but just make sure you got some tools on hand, because I know y'all probably won't go right back to listen to this exact spot that she's starting at if you whatnot. Just take notes. Take notes. It could help. I bet you at least you'll remember
we're
it
gonna
more
give
if you take notes. Then. Anyway, please continue.
so we'll give them a few seconds to get themselves together.
All right, I think that's about a good sufficient amount of time because now I'm excited.
All right. So
I'm
now let's
already
get
triggered.
off into the sex toys sex toys are also known as adult toys or marital aids. They are objects used to have more pleasure during sex or masturbation. This is the definition from Planned Parenthood, which is a resource to use. It's not just for family planning. They also talk about STDs, sex toys, masturbation, and a whole lot more. So definitely check that resource out. So now let's get off into some other things that I found very interesting while I was doing my research. That some adult toys are used to aid in sexual dysfunction, or if someone has a medical condition that causes some type of genital dysfunction. So, so adult toys are not just for the purpose of sex. It is some medical benefits as well. So that was a lovely tidbit. And I can see how that could help relationships where a man is experiencing erectile dysfunction. I will just refer as ED. So if you want to know what that is, you might have to fast rewind, because again, going forward, I will now refer to erectile dysfunction as ED. So I thought that was very interesting because I never knew that. Did you,
Um,
Mister?
some of it, yes. I knew it could be. I knew it could be a well, like you said, a marital aid. It's to help your sex life, and men are gonna want to please their woman regardless if they penis work or not. I mean, I've even heard of like like a weird type of strap on where basically it's hollow on the inside. So even if your thing don't necessarily work, you can still perform. So I've heard of it.
What you're referring what you're referring to is a sleeve, and we will get into that momentarily. But I want to
Oh.
first talk about the most popular known sex toy, which is the vibrator. They come in multiple different shapes, sizes, styles. Some are loud, some are discreet, proof, some aren't, and some are phallic, look like a penis, and others don't. They may look like a foreign object you've never even seen before. So the world of vibrators is where I reside when it comes to enhancing my pleasure. I will always recommend a vibrator to anyone who needs them. These are objects that vibrate to stimulate your genitals. Sometimes they're for external use, and others are, for your internal use. My favorite vibrator is the rabbit. It is because it serves both functions of internal and external. So I'm getting my clitoral stimulation, and I'm also getting penetration at the same time. And the style reason why I like the the rabbit vibrator is that the pulsation and the movement that they make sometimes when it's on the inside hits the G spot at the same time, and I can get a clitoral orgasm and I can squirt at the same time. And that's just really like, it blows my mind. And I was like, whew, that's an experience for me. But we'll get more into my experiences with the toys after we talk about it. But I'm sorry, I just love the vibrator so much, So now just pull it back, and let's get on to the next one, dildos. Not a personal favorite of mine, but I'm not against them. Um, they come in many shapes and sizes, and they go inside the genitals or the anus. Some are phallic, and some are realistic in appearance, and others really aren't. So, there are some that are headed dildos, and those are usually used in lesbian relationships so that they can both be penetrating each other time, and then their gyrating movements kind of simulate if they were in a heterosexual relationship. So that's one that is more common. Then there is the standard dildo that looks like a male's penis, you know. The ones where they have like the suction cup where you can put it on a flat surface and go to town. Some women use it in the shower and, serve that need maybe hitting them. So next is anal toys. Notice these are the top three. So with anal toys, they're specifically designed to stimulate and go inside of the anus. The most common ones are plugs, beads, and prostate massagers. Now, they recommend that you use a toy with a flared bottom so that or base so that it doesn't accidentally inside of your anus, because when you're excited and you get to a point of arousal, that muscle sucks whatever is in you in, and you can lose that object and may have to either have your partner retrieve it, depending how far it went. You may have to go to a medical professional. So I see you are laughing, Mr. Zebra King.
Look, I've been through the experience, like I said, with the butt plug. Now, yeah, with a woman, of course, are intimate, whatnot. And at one point, we had to stop. And I was wondering, like, okay, she seems to be in some type of discomfort, but at the same time, she's still like at a point of pleasure, but she needs help getting the butt plug out. She couldn't get it out. And we had to use baby oil to help lube it up and whatnot. But I died laughing about it just because the idea like it got stuck in there.
Exactly. So if had you guys used the toy with that flare base, it would have prevented it from going all the way in. And I mean, it's just I'm pretty sure, you know, a lot of people have that experience, and it is something to laugh about later on, but I'm pretty sure in that
Oh,
moment
afterwards,
you're like,
yeah,
oh
yeah, yeah.
hell no.
Oh, I laughed at the very moment it happened because I was like, of course I could pull it out. It was just I found it funny that she couldn't pull it out because the thing is like just because the whole time like every slight movement had a reaction coming from her. So it wasn't like I could just like a quick 2, 3, or 4 seconds. It's out. No, it took a quick second. It took a quick minute.
Got you over there going down memory lane. Look at us.
Ah!
let
But
let me
this is
know when
not
you're ready
about
to
this is not
continue.
about me. So yeah, I'm about to say yeah, we can continue right now because yeah,
Yes, because we have about one, two, three, four, five, six more in our top list of toys.
mhm.
Remember, you mentioned sleeves earlier. That's what they're actually called.
Yes.
They're sleeves. They're masturbation or penis sleeves or even strokers. They're usually soft tubes that a penis can go into, and some actually have suction or vibration. So now you have the ones that men use for male masturbation. They just put the silicone that's supposed to be like ultra skin. It's supposed to feel like a female's vagina that they can put over. Of course, they have to use lube to simulate the wetness of a vagina, and they put it over um, their penis, and they go to town. And then they have ones where they can actually apply harnesses to them. They fit into a harness, and the penis goes in, and it helps them with men who may have ED or sexual dysfunction perform and please their woman. So there's different kinds. And again, the ones that men use for masturbation purposes have suction and or vibrate. So that's always a pleasant experience, I guess. Have you ever tried to use one of those masturbation tools on yourself or no?
The only sleeve I ever came across was too small,
Ooh.
so that
Well,
was
if I had some pearls right now, I would be clutching them. Okay. Well, okay. I mean, let me get a little sip of my water. I was not expecting that. So,
you asked a question,
on
and then so yeah, so speaking of questions, I have a question for the rest of y'all. What are some of the experiences y'all have? Y'all go ahead and that's y'all homework. Write in the comment section. If you don't know where you writing, you can do it on our YouTube or you can do it at our what's that right down there? It says the Facebook group, right? Yeah, for Pillow Talk Confessions. All right, we can continue on with the show. You as you were saying, clutched pearls and all. Do they vibrate? Hmm. Well, in this moment here, as it seems to be that our host is having some moments right now, I can say that um, my experience with sex toys has not necessarily been, like vast and like huge, but my the first one I ever really came across was a vibrator. I was 10th grade, and there was this girl I had a crush on. Her name was Cassie. I haven't seen this woman in years, so I doubt anyone even knows who I'm speaking of. But uh, Cassie had a birthday coming up, and even though I had a crush on her or whatnot, I had like, just joking, we were teenager, made a raunchy joke. Told the girl that I would get her a vibrator for her birthday, and I did. I got her a 10-inch vibrator. Whatnot, had made sure that she had the strongest batteries that I could find. So shout out to Spencer's. That place is awesome. She was Asian girl. I believe she was Vietnamese, but she was very red faced when I gave